Welcome back, everybody. You guys are listening to the Down to the Wire podcast. I'm your host, Brian Costa, and today I have a very special episode for you guys. I've been trying to get this. I've been trying to get this interview going for a little while now, but we are fine. But I'm finally able to have this individual on the show. So without any further ado, let me introduce to you Michael Green III. Mike, let's have you take it away, man.
What's going on? My name is Michael Green III. Most of y'all know me. I went to Bryant my first 2 years. I just transferred to Robert Morris. Played basketball. I'm from the Bronx, New York. Pretty much it.
Yeah, Mike. Yeah, Mike. I'm so glad to have you on the show, man. We've kind of had like an open line of communication for the past few months, trying to figure out like a time that works best. I'm so glad I
Mm-hmm.
can get you on now before the end of the semester. And there's going to be a lot of things I'm excited to talk to you about, especially your transfer, some of your key moments and favorite moments while you were at Bryant and as a Bulldog, and just some other stuff in general. But maybe before we start, maybe like tell us a little bit about yourself, maybe how you got into basketball when you were younger. Where I'll
Okay,
just take it from
so
there.
yeah. So I got into basketball. I started playing ball since I was young, like since
Mhm.
I can remember. Young, just started playing ball, started
Yeah,
dribbling, just hooping. So, and my dad played basketball along with his dad, so it was just in our gene and in our nature to just hoop and just be hoopers.
that's awesome to hear, man. So you would definitely say you definitely would like say that your dad and obviously your grandfather were definitely heavy influences on getting into the game. Were there any other individuals, maybe such as maybe like coaches, some teammates, like some friends that really kind of got you into it when
So
you
yeah,
at a
so
younger age?
yeah, so I was playing since I was young, and then I would just like at first I wasn't that good, so I didn't really like it, and then the better like as as I started to grow, I got better, and then I started to just have fun with it and then just really like it. Mainly because I was better than people and I was just like it wasn't like so it was just fun for me. I'm like, oh, I could do this. Like I'm better than people. And this was just in a little area I was in. So the older I got, I started to play AAU, started to travel and see and just see my talent against the top people in the world, in the country, really.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear. Kind of going off that, like like eventually. So when you started playing basketball, you said it did take some time for you to get going, but then eventually, once you kind of did arrive, like you kind of were, above a lot of people. Would
Mhm.
that kind of be the correct way to put it? Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so I was
kind of real. Oh, yeah, I'll let you go. Yeah.
yeah, I was just gonna say, so I was just like better than the people in my area, like that I would go play against every
Yeah.
day and stuff like that.
Yeah. 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 No. So that is actually really interesting to see because it kind of makes me wonder, at what point, maybe like through like when you were playing, did you realize, hey, like I'm a lot better than these individuals. I might have a chance to go on and play D1 basketball somewhere and maybe have a chance to really make an impact at a school. When did that thought maybe come to your mind? Was that something that you had when you were younger, or maybe like a coach approached you and said like, hey, Mike, like you might be able to really do this thing? Like when did that first moment of saying like, hey, I could play D1 basketball, when did that like start to become a reality to you?
So it was really just like a dream at first because most of the people from where I'm from don't even go D1, don't even go away to school and stuff like that and continue to hoop. So it was just like really a dream. But then high school came and I think it was my freshman year of high school. I had a cool season. And then I got moved up to varsity that year. And then my sophomore year of high school was when we won a championship, the Archdiocesan championship, and then that's when I knew like, oh yeah, I could play with the top people in the city. I could be a Division One basketball player for sure, but I was always just under the radar, just not really looked at stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, obviously, once you realized that, you started to receive offers. I mean, obviously, you chose Bryant at first. I don't know what other schools maybe like put out offers to you. I don't know if you want to like share some of those. I'll let you kind of go ahead with that.
Yeah, so it's crazy. Okay, so all throughout high school, I would play AAU, which is like travel hoops. I'll play with New York Gauchos.
Yeah.
So, and then high school stayed with Mount St. Michael Academy. So I could have played on different AAU teams to get more scholarship offers and stuff like that. But I decided to stay loyal to Gauchos, and I could have went prep school before my senior year of high school, but I decided to stay and just trust the process. Um, so yeah, I ended up staying and playing it. And coming before my senior year basketball season, I didn't have no scholarship offers. Like I had interest from a few
Really?
schools, like a few schools in the NEC as well. I had interest, and I visit them, went to their school, all of that, visit their school. They didn't offer me a full ride. They didn't, you feel me? I just had interest. Then before the senior season, that's when Coach Grasso came into the gym and offered me a scholarship. Then like that next week, I had went visit the campus, and then that's when I committed from there. But it was crazy because the same schools that I went to visit, like I visited FDU, I took a visit to Manhattan,
Mhm.
I took a visit to um what else did I take? It was another that's Wagner. So all of these
Oh
schools that
shoot,
was in
yeah,
that
Wagner.
was in the NEC, they didn't offer me. So it was funny when the season came and we played them, and then I got rookie of the year. Then it was crazy.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, Coach Grasso had a huge impact in why you chose Bryant. Once you did get here, I mean, obviously, I actually I think it was at your first game. It was against Brown. It was that really competitive first game of the season. Came down. It really came down to the wire. I kind of plug in the name here a little bit, but it really came down to it. Unfortunately, Brown did take away that game. But I remember you came off the bench in that game to start. So you didn't
Mhm.
originally start off here in the starting lineup.
Yeah, yeah. It was crazy
Yeah.
because practice, I was starting with the starting team, all of that. But then
Mm.
before the game, coach came up to me. It was just like, "Oh, I don't think you should start because like the size and stuff like that." So it fueled me for the game, and like I was just gonna come out
Oh
crazy
yeah.
just because it was the first home game of the season in front of the crowd. I got to
Oh
make a name
yeah.
for myself, man.
Absolutely. No, I mean 100%. And I remember you did come out and you did really kind of show off. Kind of going off the size, has that always been something that you've had to work with in terms of maybe adversity while playing, or how did that kind of affect you? It seems that you're kind of on the move real quick, so I'll let you kind of take care of
Yeah, hold on,
that.
hold
But
on.
oh yeah, you're good. So with it, when it comes to things like size and adversity, I know that's been a thing that a lot of players have said it's something that they've had to deal with. With Coach Grasso, kind of maybe kind of originally bringing that up to you. Was that something that that did kind of impact you, and was that something that you always did have to kind of like work against?
I mean, yeah, I was used to it because it was just how it was my whole life. And Coach Grasso was basically
Oh
like,
yeah,
he don't care about the height, weight, like none of that matter. If you could play, you could play. If you got talent, if you got skill, if you work hard, you could
absolutely.
play with anybody. So it was just a chip on my shoulder. Plus,
Mhm.
Coach Grasso gave me the confidence to play, so I just did my thing.
Yeah. So I mean, eventually you did get in there and you did prove yourself all over again. Kind of just wondering about that. Was there, I mean, obviously you had mentioned that, for a while like you had been kind of like you'd kind of been in a different way, and kind of on a different level from all these people. You come to Bryant, and in your first couple games, you are coming off the bench. Eventually you do break your way in the starting lineup, and you earn yourself rookie of the year. What was it like kind of having to prove yourself again once you got to Bryant, and like trying to show like, hey, I can play here and I deserve to play here? What was it like kind of trying to have to prove that all over again?
I mean, it was normal. It wasn't big because I always had to prove myself. So first game when coach didn't start me, I was like, I got to prove myself to show I could start. As simple as that, and I
Mhm.
should start. So after that, after the Brown game, um, next game we played Rutgers, I believe, and I started that game. And from there on, I started
Okay.
most of the game, like probably 95% of the games for the season. But it wasn't nothing new. It wasn't surprising. Like it was like that's just regular for me. Like always got to prove myself. Always
Okay.
got to, you know what I'm saying?
No, no, absolutely, dude. I remember after that. I remember after that game, me and a couple of my roommates. It was my roommate Jake. We were coming back, and we were just like, man, that green kid could freaking play. Holy crap! And we were just we were just like, man, 2023, it's gonna be Mike Green and Benson Lynn and all those guys just making gonna be out there doing making the highlight reel. Obviously, Benson didn't come back, but we were just like we were like, man, these guys are gonna make a run. Like these guys are like and they haven't even hit their peak yet. And it was just awesome to see, like, how like the impact that people in our class were having immediately going out there. You know, so kind of going off that, what were maybe some of your favorite moments, kind of as a Bryant Bulldog? Obviously, during COVID, it became very tough. Fans weren't allowed in the stands, and obviously you couldn't play in front of the home crowd that you became really accustomed to your freshman year. So, what were some of your favorite moments while you were here?
um, I'll say my the first the first favorite got to be just the Brown game, my first college career game when it was the gym, the excitement, everything was crazy, and it was fun. It was fun.
Dude, that place was rocking that night.
Yeah,
I was like, this college basketball game is sick. And then I like went to like some other game like midway through the week, and I was like, oh, like people kind of tipped for
yeah,
this one. But then so you had to know when to go. And but like, that first game, I will never forget that. That was an amazing game. Everyone was up, everyone was cheering for it. And literally it just came down to that last play. I think it was like an alley oop kind of near the basket. I remember I think you or someone else threw up an alley oop, and everyone was going
hmm,
nuts because at least in my high school, like obviously like you had like a couple kids like from like our district and our area who could dunk, but it'd be the very safe like two-handed dunk, like you'd see it only in blowouts. And to get to college and just like watching a game and just seeing guys throw up alley oops, seeing guys doing all these incredible plays, it was like just a wow moment for a lot of us, like in the stands. Like people were just going nuts, just seeing that their home team could do that. That was something I definitely kind of took away from that first kind of couple seasons.
yeah. It was crazy. It was exciting. I know exactly what play you're talking about. It was in the second half when I threw an alley to Hall. It
Oh,
was it was, it was definitely going crazy. But
oh, dude.
the second most exciting or the most fun game would have to be the second game right after that when we played against Rutgers and we lost with the of a buzzer beater shot. Like I had a solid game. Charles went crazy. Like he put on that game. Like it was just fun. It was crazy, and we
Yeah,
almost
he
won.
did. No, absolutely. I mean, like you guys had. I mean, you're talking about your alley oop to Hall. I remember I was like trying to like I was trying to like do stuff. Going into like this interview and just in general, and just watching some of those freshman highlights. And you guys just had such a kind of chemistry of the alley oops that you guys did to each other. That seemed like a staple play that you guys always like to run. Kind of going off that though. Obviously the season does come to an end this year. It was so. I will tell you this. When it gets to the Mount St. Mary's game, all the fans had to be on the football field for that game, but I actually snuck in. And I don't. I like where like where like the podium is, like where like they do like the press game like
Yeah,
conferences and
yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. So like how there's like a little window slit right there that looks into
Yeah.
the gym. So it was after. So I had a night class, and we're literally just sitting there, like, and I'm just like, we're all just like, God damn it! Like everyone is on their laptops just watching the game while the guys are giving a lecture, and we're just like, all right, come on, let's get through this thing. And as soon as it ends, I know I'm not going to make it to the basketball court in time, so I run to that area, and I'm just watching through this little slit in the wall, and I'm just like, and like I was just like, come on, guys, because the entire gym is empty. It's all this stuff, and I was just like, uh, you know, that was a very hard fought game by you guys. I remember Charles. I didn't realize he could shoot like that. That was actually insane. I mean, but kind of going, kind of you guys did come one game short of a tourney run. It was a tough loss, but kind of being able to play with those group of guys. What did that mean to you? Like being able to play with those guys and get so close like that.
I mean, it was cool. It was cool. I learned a lot. Um,
Mhm.
like that's all I really got with playing with that team. It was cool. I learned a lot. Some of them is my brothers that I'm gonna have for life. Yeah.
No, absolutely. I mean, you guys. I mean, it was a very fun team to watch this year. I wish that we could have definitely. I wish we could have gone to a lot more games. I mean, I was able to finesse my way in a little bit through the sports network, but not as much as I had wanted to. But you guys were you guys were a very very talented team this year. And the program in general seems to be on the program ever since you guys came and ever since this class came does seem to be on an upswing. And regardless of what happens, I think that the program is going to be in a better spot. But kind of looking at things now, you actually did recently enter the transfer portal as we were talking about at the beginning of this episode. I recently spoke with Adam Alita, who entered the transfer portal and is coming here from Northern Kentucky. He gave some of his reasons to do it. Kind of going off the success that you've had here and some of the and all the attributes and all the accolades that you've kind of gotten here so far. What kind of made you think, okay, I think I want to enter the transfer portal and kind of see what I can do.
Um, it was really just it was just a lot that was going on internally with the
Oh
team
yeah.
and stuff like that, like in the locker
No.
room and stuff.
Mhm.
And then it was like besides that, it was just me wanting to test my talent and knowing that I could play
Absolutely.
like
Yeah.
somewhere higher and knowing that like yeah.
No, absolutely, man. And I think being able to prove that is definitely something that is key. I think that you definitely have the skill to prove it at whatever program you're in. I saw some of those offers of schools you were going to. Obviously, Robert Morris, which is the school that you selected. I saw Elon on there. I saw Minnesota. When the news first came out, and I think you were posting like a bunch of like NCAA kind of like news things on like your Instagram story. So I was checking some of those out, and I saw someone underneath said, "Yo, this guy should go to West Virginia." And I was like, "Bro, if he goes to West Virginia, I'm gonna have to tell him about how crazy Morgantown could get." Because I don't know if you're a big football fan, but if do you know about the Pat McAfee show by any chance?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Heard
Yeah,
it.
so he's so if you so to for anyone who doesn't know about that, he was a punter who played for the Indianapolis Colts. He went to college at West Virginia in like 2005 to like 2000 or like 2005 to whenever. And he always talks about West Virginia and about it just being this insane kind of party place where you wouldn't expect it, but it's just in the middle of nowhere and people just are insane out there. And people were
Yeah.
and I saw this one comment of like, oh, he should go to West Virginia. And I was like, if he goes to West Virginia, I have to tell him about Morgantown. And I'm just like, man, be careful. Because that place can get wild. So I was like,
Right,
so,
right.
so I was like, oh shoot. And then I also saw a Big Ten school like on there like Minnesota. I was like, wow, like Minnesota, that's an insane school too. I was looking at a bunch of the schools, and obviously you settled on Robert Morris. What kind of made you think that? Or maybe in your mind, what made you say that Robert Morris is the school for me? What was it? The coaches there? What kind of made you say this is where I want to be?
Um, so during the transfer process, my last two schools were St. Bonaventure and Robert Morris.
Mm.
Those are my final two.
Oh yeah.
Um, but I basically chose Robert Morris one because I was looking to play somewhere higher. So look
Oh
at
yeah.
the all the if you look at all the 32 Division 1 basketball leagues,
Yeah.
the
And
NEC is the
oh yeah, no,
NEC is
oh yeah.
go ahead, go ahead.
No, yeah, I was about to say, I definitely need kind of need to be educated on this because, like, I hear D1 and like then it's like D1A, D1A3, and it's just like gibberish to me. So, and I think to a lot of other people too. So I think this could definitely benefit a lot of people. Like, so where does Robert Morris's league kind of
Hmm.
stand with? I believe they're the Horizon League, correct?
Hmm.
Yeah. So where does the
So
Horizon League maybe stand with like the NEC?
right, so the NEC is the 29th league out of the all 32
Mm,
divisions that rank 29th,
okay.
while the Horizon League is the 17th. You feel
Oh
me?
wow.
So
Holy
so
crap.
it was just a big jump, and just knowing that I could play at that level,
Mhm.
and just knowing that like it's the right fit for me with the from the
Oh,
coaching staff to just going to a new area will be good,
mhm.
and knowing like we got good players coming and there's good players there,
Oh
and it
yeah.
was we just I feel like they needed a few more people, a few more changes that could bring them to where they need to be in the Horizon League, and I definitely think we got that now.
No, absolutely, man. Actually, something I saw. I don't know what the. I don't. I apologize for this, but I do not know how to pronounce. Like I think he's the assistant coach there. I think it's like Mike, like Illusione or like something like
Mhm.
that. I unfortunately I just can't pronounce the name correctly.
Right.
I realize this. I'm pretty sure his son just
Mhm, went to
declared that he's
Bryant.
coming to Bryant. I'm
Mhm,
just like
mhm.
I was like wow, like that is kind of a interesting turn of events.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
was like,
that
I was like, that might be some. If I have a chance to talk to him, I'm just gonna be like, I'm gonna be like, so what's that like?
Right, right, right,
So
yeah, his
no,
son.
so yeah, so I found that to be very interesting. I was like, man, what are the odds? Like, small world.
Mhm, yeah, that is crazy. His son did commit to Bryant. I did see that as well.
Yeah. So I saw that kind of going on all of the on all of the Bryant Barstool Bryant pages and stuff like that. It is going to be very interesting. I wish you the best of luck at what you can do at Robert Morris. But
Appreciate you.
yeah, I hope you tear it up on the court, man. I wish you the absolute best. Obviously, I think it's in like Western Pennsylvania if I'm wrong. So the weather is still going to be kind of brutal from what I've seen. So be aware of that. Just bring a jacket. So
Mm.
yeah, I would just bring your Smithfield apparel. Kind of in general in basketball terms, you've obviously obviously you talk about playing with a chip on your shoulder, other instances like that. Were there any other maybe big obstacles that you had to face in your career, maybe like an injury or like a coach kind of like or like maybe a coach? Was there anything that you ever really had to face in terms of adversity, and if so, like how did you overcome it?
Um, I mean, of course, I had to face adversity where
Hmm.
people not thinking I'm good enough to be certain places and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I just fought it by hard work, just proving them wrong, just know you feel me, just know what I could do. And um, I haven't faced no injuries.
That's good.
God willingly, right? I haven't
Well,
faced no.
yeah, I'm knock on wood. I wish you the best of health as well because
Right.
I was talking with I do like like a bunch of sports on the show, and I was talking with one of my buddies, Steve Mushorn. He was a wrestler back in high school, and he talked and he was saying to me, oh, I didn't have like that many injuries in high school. I'm just like, oh, well, name a couple, and he's just like, oh, well, my teammates broke my ribs, I broke some fingers. I'm like, and you're saying like and you're saying like you were pretty injury free, and he's just like, he's like, I mean, it could have been worse. I'm like, maybe,
Right.
but like, but I'm just like, I don't know about that. So it is good to hear that you've been fairly healthy. I hope that stays that way because obviously when you're on the court, that explosiveness that you have is something that is a signature of your game, and I hope that you keep that. Uh, you know,
Yeah,
oh, go
yeah.
ahead.
I was gonna add one more thing to just about just a little adversity, just having to deal with adversity, and I feel like um I didn't really have to deal with any off the court adversity until just this past season.
Yeah,
It just
with COVID.
taught me a lot. I learned a lot, and no, yeah, it was it was different, and it was crazy.
Yeah,
I would
man.
say it was crazy. I feel like it was a lot of stuff unnecessary, but it helped me. It helped me a lot because
Uh,
now I know what to do next time. Something like you feel me? Like it just helped me a lot,
yeah. Well,
just in
hopefully,
life in general as well.
yeah. Well, hopefully with a COVID in general, there isn't a next time in our lifetime with something like that. But with kind of going off that, before COVID and all that stuff. Anyways, I asked this to Adam Alita, who's coming here next year. What was kind of maybe the commitment of a D1 athlete before COVID, and then obviously after COVID, once that happened, it became this completely different world. He was telling me about some of his experiences there. I know you guys had to quarantine and do a bunch of like we barely even saw you guys on campus, for a
Yeah.
lot of it. So what was kind of the commitments that you guys were kind of forced to? I Did you guys have to live in a bubble light or something, or like
No, no,
kind of?
no. So we um we lived on campus. Like us as a team, the basketball team, we did good until I say the last 2 months. Last 2 months, like we was good the whole season. Last 2 months come, we had we had to go in and out of quarantine probably about 4 or 5 times.
I saw that.
But just but the whole COVID thing, it did really affect a lot because say for someone like me, like coming into college,
Oh yeah.
like it was I had a big jump coming into college. Like I got to really lift weights and grind how a division one player is supposed to grind. Like it was my first time lifting
Yeah.
when I first got into college, you know what I'm saying? As a freshman. So that was a big jump being in the gym, you know what I'm saying? And then just
Oh,
increasing my
absolutely.
work ethic towards the end of the season. And then sophomore season, I'm seeing it as like, oh yeah, I'm about to have a crazy jump. Boom, COVID hit, can't have a real off season. Just had to do as like as best as you could. Can't really get in certain places. And I feel like that's why I had the season I had this year. And I feel like yeah, that affected me a lot. But following years, hopefully once this COVID situation all end, we getting vaccines now. So
Oh yeah, we're
so
chilling.
we so we're supposed to be doing, but I'm gonna have a tremendous jump and shout out to
Yeah.
a lot of people.
Yeah, no, with that, I mean, what are some things that you hope, what are some things that you hope to be able to maybe do this summer that you weren't able to kind of do last summer in terms of getting that jump? What are some things that you look forward to being able to do?
Yeah, yeah. Just being in the gym every day, weight room every day, doing
Mhm.
both of those twice a day. Like I couldn't really do that last
Oh yeah.
off season.
Nah.
And then just like not just sharpening my tools, but adding stuff to my bag is essential. It's 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 gonna it's gonna help a lot. And
Yeah.
I already got stuff planned out with certain people, certain trainers, certain so
Yeah. If there was one thing that about your game that maybe you want to really focus in on this off season, what would that one thing probably be for you?
just one.
Yeah. I mean, you can list a couple.
Okay, I'll give you two main ones. Two main
Okay.
ones.
Yeah.
So first one I'll say strength and
Okay.
just being just being able to be stronger
Hmm.
and like because strength is not just like how your body looks, it's also like how you can maintain throughout the whole game and
Absolutely.
how efficient you become just like throughout the whole season because you're stronger. So it helps you throughout the whole season, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
but I definitely say strength. And if we're talking about on the court, like skill wise, I say like shooting off the dribble. I say shooting
Okay.
off the dribble, like
Yeah.
shooting like threes off the dribble is
Mhm. Yeah, I'll tell you this, man, 100%. The thing you got to just remember this. Well, the physical strength is always something that's there, but it doesn't matter how much physical strength you have. Just always just remember, just to be meant to mentally, just be a warrior. Just keep grinding out there. That's the thing that you always just got to focus on. It seems that you already have that down pat. So when with the
mhm.
physical strength coming along, it seems that is only going to get heightened. But some other stuff in general that I wanted to talk about is that with going to Robert Morris, what are some possible goals that you have for yourself? Where throughout with the I don't know if is it 3 years or 2 years that you have left of eligibility.
Yeah, I got three.
Okay, you got 3 years left. So in those 3 years, what are some things that you're hoping that you can achieve?
Um I'm not I wouldn't say hoping. I feel like I am. Like I manifest it, I talk it into existence everywhere because I'm big on making your mark wherever you go. Like in high school, I left my mark with 1,000 points, got a championship, got banners. Like at Bryant, I left my mark with rookie of the year, broke a couple records, first school to go to the Division I NEC championship
Absolutely.
game. Like you feel me? So I feel like I just leaving your mark is essential. So
Best
coming
team
in
in
Robert
history.
Morris, I'm just planning on definitely just winning the Horizon League. Like that's number one. Like just winning, winning, winning. That's number one, and just being with a good group of guys who care about winning as much as anything else on the court. And what else is a main goal of mine? Just I'm not really into the like I was never into all the personal accolades. It was more of just like
I respect that so much. That like as
nah, yeah,
as someone who formerly played, like if I could just win, like I wanted to win always so bad. Like that was something that always like pushed me.
nah, yeah, because I see it as like if we have fun, and we all know we gonna rock with each other and fight for each other, then we gonna not just win, but we gonna like win a championship. Like we gonna do big things. Like we gonna shock the world together. You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
so yeah, I just feel like
So you would, I mean, I would also probably say, having a shot to break into the tourney would also be something that you'd hope to do as well. I'm assuming.
yeah. Like winning the Horizon League and then winning a couple games in the tourney, seeing as far as we could go, like all of that is part of the goal, part of the plan, and that's what's going to happen.
Absolutely, man. I wish you the best of luck in doing that. But before we maybe talk a little NBA and go and talk a little stuff going on there, with eventually, no matter how far you make it, no matter how far things go. I talked to a lot of people about this. When it's all said and done, and you do hang up, and you do kind of hang it up for the final time, what would be the next chapter for you? I don't know if you've thought about that yet. I don't know if it would be coaching, or if it would be maybe getting into the game in other areas. What is something that you would maybe, it could even be a dream kind of job, like what is something that you would really want to maybe try to pursue after basketball?
Yeah. So once the ball stop bouncing, hopefully I'm old in my 40s, um,
Absolutely.
like I plan on like just opening a business. Like I'm big on like swag and sneakers and clothes and stuff like that. So I plan on really opening a store that will serve the fire drip. You feel me? Good
Absolutely.
shirts, good sneakers, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm big on just opening business and investing and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think we had an athlete from our high school do a very similar thing. Forget, it's actually a very it's actually like a very popular company. His name's Raheem Lewis. He went and he opened up a company like at like on Cape Cod. I am blanking on the name right now. I feel so bad about it, but that after high school he was like a star basketball player for us, football as well. And when it was all said and done for him, that was something that he did. So if you could, like, that would be something really interesting for you to pursue, selling that kind of merch, like doing all that stuff. Is there anything in particular? Would it maybe be shoes? Would it be like shirts? Is there like anything, along that line, or would it be maybe just a collection of everything?
Now, yeah, it would be sneakers, it would be like sneakers, shoes, sandals, shirts,
Oh
shorts, all
yeah.
of that. I feel like it will also have my own brand in there as well.
Hmm.
All of that, yeah. I can already see it.
Oh yeah. So, obviously that was obviously very insightful. I hope that I can be purchasing some of that someday. But and it's obviously great to be able to talk to you about where you're going in your career, where everything is going. Once again, I wish you the best of luck at Robert Morris. I think you're going to kill it there. And,
Appreciate you, bro.
I think those guys, like, they don't know what's coming just yet. Like, maybe a couple of the fan accounts have posted, and it's just like, oh, like, here's just some guy coming in, but it's like, no, they don't know what's coming to West Pennsylvania.
That's
So
facts, bro.
so dude, they're gonna
Appreciate you, bro.
dude, 100%. No, dude, not only did I see you on the court, I think we also had a class together. I think you were in Dooley's class with me. So I
Uh-huh.
mean, I've seen you both on and off the court.
Yeah,
I've been able to see you kind of do your own thing. And obviously it's awesome. I think you're a great guy. I think that you're going to, like, once again, kill it out there. But frankly, while I got you here, I'd have to say that you're probably all, being a huge basketball, fan. You want to talk some NBA?
we could do it. We could do it. We could do it for
Ab-
sure.
Absolutely. So, one of the big things that people have talked about on this show, I would have to agree with this, but uh oh yeah, and another thing too, before, I'll bring this up in part of the segment, but Carmelo Anthony he recently earned himself on to number 10 in the all-time scoring list.
Hmm.
Uh so he's now there with all the accolades that he has. Obviously a championship still eludes him. A lot of things, still elude him. Being from New York, it's possible you have a bias. Who were you a fan of growing up?
So growing up, I was a big fan of Dwayne Wade. Like Dwayne Wade, growing up, I was a big fan of him. I was a big fan of Allen Iverson. I was a big fan of LeBron. I feel like you either gonna love or hate LeBron. To this day, still, you either gonna love or hate him. There's no in between.
Oh yeah.
But
Nah. I mean, going off that, was there like a team that you were a fan of too?
see,
Or
it
or
was different with me. It was more players than a team
Mhm.
because I will really just be watching it to see certain people's moves. Like
Absolutely.
like my whole high school, I was big on Kemba Walker, just because he's from the Bronx as
Oh
well,
yeah.
Bronx, New York, and like he made it out. Like he's a goat in the city, and from
Mhm.
in New York, he's the man. So
Well, dude,
like
everyone in Boston loves him now. I
But I
mean,
feel like I don't know the boss. I don't know about his situation in Boston. I know he just had a good game the other
yeah.
day, but I don't know how it is in Boston. I don't know if he's just injured or he can't play his game, but
Yeah,
it's a
I
little
don't know what
tricky.
it is. He's a he's an explosive guard who's had, who unfortunately has had knee injuries, and it's just like the one area of your game where it matters. Like that is the one spot that you just want just want to avoid, having some issues with. The ACL is actually something that you can come back from, a lot easier than people would think. I mean, obviously it takes a lot of rehab, but my friend now, John, he's played football and he plays Division 3. He's tore his ACL, and I think it's in the same knee now twice, but it's the type of injury that, like once you get it back, you're in a pretty good spot. So obviously that's not his issue. He has like a lot of cartilage issues. Not too sure what's going on with him there. But obviously I hope he can come back. But maybe going off this now, Carmelo Anthony, I was mentioning it for being from the Bronx. We were talking about him getting onto that all-time list. Would you consider him to be a Hall of Famer?
For sure, for
Yeah.
sure.
I mean,
That's not even a question. Melo's
no,
definitely a Hall of Famer.
no. So here's the thing. I 100% with you. I would say 100%. Like all the respect goes to Carmelo. I would. There's not even a doubt in my mind. But I hear a lot of people say like, and it's ludicrous to me. But I hear a lot of people say like, oh, he never could win the championship. He's never had a lot of playoff success. And I'm just like, it's also not
That
it. Yeah.
the champ that I mean, so look, I feel like the championship conversation only matters when you're talking about two, like when you're comparing two greats like LeBron, Kobe, or like LeBron, Jordan, like something like that is where the championship conversation matters because they're both so great to
Yeah.
the point where only thing you can compare is winning. I
Yeah.
feel like Melo's situation, it's about like you can't blame him for not having a championship. It's about the team you're on. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like
No, and the thing
just
too
like
is, yeah.
Allen Iverson, people like them, they Hall of
Oh,
Famers for sure.
100%. I know. I agree with you. The other thing I say to people when they try to question that too is I'm also just like, it's also called the Basketball Hall of Fame, not the NBA Hall of Fame. So it's about what you've done in your basketball career, and you
Hmm.
think about what he did at Syracuse. I was gonna
Syracuse.
Yeah,
Hmm.
what he did at Syracuse, how clutch he's always been on those
Hmm.
Olympic teams with us. All the gold medals he's won. I mean, you think about what he was able to accomplish there. And frankly, I think anyone who makes the argument of like, oh no, he's not a Hall of Famer, he never had like the playoff success. They don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, yeah,
No, they
they
don't.
don't even pay them attention, bro. They do not like those type of like. There's certain people I could talk to basketball about, and certain people I can't like because like I'm not gonna say I argue with somebody who knows nothing about the game, who knows nothing about
Exactly.
how
No.
hard it is to do what Melo did, especially in New York, is unbelievable in New York.
Yeah, kind of going off that too. With Melo, obviously he played at Syracuse. I did want to mention this. You guys actually did play Syracuse this year, and you guys put up a very good game against them. What was it? I mean, obviously you guys played against Buddy. What was it like being able to play against like all those guys out there and really play against a big school like those guys? I did forget to mention that during the part about you're kind of playing and stuff.
Nah, yeah, for sure. But it was I feel like it was a good experience for me. Um, it was fun. It was fun. It was fun. Just always being an underdog in a game like that where you're not supposed to even be close
Oh
is
yeah.
always fun. It's always fun. Um, we would have won that game if one shot would have fell, 1, 2 shots would have fell, we would have won that game. But
And that would have been insane.
it was fun. Yeah, and that would have changed everything.
Oh, for sure. But also, but while we're staying, on Melo, on New York, the New York Knicks, who they were my dad. My dad grew up in Long Island, so he was a big Knicks fan growing up. Loved Pat
Hmm.
Ewing, loved all those guys. He was actually at the draft when Pat Ewing got selected. Like so he was actually at a lot of things. I mean, I've asked him a lot of times, hey, did you see Stern like dent that envelope and kind of force a lot of that stuff going on? But when it comes to when it comes to the Knicks making the playoffs, it's the first time since 2013. I remember when they made it in 2013, they knocked the Celtics out, and
Hmm.
I remember where I was. I was at this local like dinner place, like the town over from us. Just like everyone was just watching the game, and we were seriously just like, man, like Carmelo Anthony right now is seriously gonna knock us out of the playoffs. You gotta be kidding me. And like we were so mad because I think that was like the last year possibly of Pierce and those guys, but I could be wrong. And we were just seeing this happen, and we everyone was just like so upset. Kind of seeing New York, like obviously the Nets, who are a super team to get to their. I mean, frankly, they're the 2021 NBA champs. Congrats, you guys. But seeing the Knicks also make a run at it as well. Like is like what are your thoughts on seeing New York basketball finally kind of getting back into the playoffs and making a run there?
Yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting, But I mean, it's hard. It's hard in New York. Like I understand why they've been having the years they had years before.
Oh yeah,
Like it was like it was just hard, and not a lot of players are willing to come to New York as well. Like it's
yeah,
a lot of pressure. Not a lot of players is willing to come to the Knicks
yeah. Well,
and
the other
play. But you see
yeah,
with Julius Randle leading them, D Rose with a
I'm so freaking happy for D Rose too.
with a
That
whole
that
bunch of young squad.
that redemption story is awesome. Is
Yeah,
awesome to
yeah,
see
yeah.
him have that success. I mean, after all he's been through, to finally be on a team where he's really making a difference, that's just awesome to see. You know, uh,
He
yeah,
he's different. Derrick Rose is different. He's a different man. His mental strength is ridiculous. He's different. He's different.
no,
Not a lot of
absolutely.
people would survive what he's been through.
I mean, you see him go out for 50 plus points when he was back with the Timberwolves. So like
Hmm.
he's proven like time and time again that when he wants it, he can go and get it. It's just trying to battle basically he's battling his own body at this point, which is
Yeah,
crazy.
and being consistent. But he been solid this year since he been with the
Yeah,
Knicks. He
he
been
has.
solid. I
He
think the
honestly,
Knicks is like 22, 21 and 8 with him since they
yeah.
got D Rose. So
Wow, that is
he
awesome
done
to
he
see.
done he done helped them a lot
I
and
can't
helped.
wait to see him back in the playoffs, man. I cannot wait to see him back in the playoffs. But trying to think, going off that. Oh yeah, the other thing too about the Knicks that man, they just got to get Dolan out of there. That guy is a cancer.
Yeah.
That guy sucks. I mean, you want to talk about someone who completely alienates a fan base. Do you remember during the March Madness tournament where Pat or like beforehand Pat Ewan was trying to get into the Garden and like the security guards literally said like, oh, sorry
Yes.
sir, we don't recognize you, we need you to show ID. I'm just like, dude, it's Pat freaking Ewing.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
Exactly.
and and also how many other 7 foot tall guys are you seeing walk through that building every day?
Right, right, right.
You'd think you'd at least pause and just be like, oh, for a guy trying to sneak in here, he isn't being too subtle.
Exactly, exactly.
like exactly. No, so he obviously there was also the incident with Charles Oakley where he was getting pulled out of there like it was like he was in like a bar fight. Spike Lee has dealt with like enough BS from them as well. Like the
Mhm.
like the amount of that is like, I mean, obviously I'm a Celtics fan, but I have so much sympathy to the Knicks, and I'm just like, they got to get Dolan the hell out of there. They really do.
I don't really got a lot to say on that. I really don't.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know about that one. That's a tough one.
yeah. But kind of going off some other stuff too. Another subject in NBA that I did want to touch on. A big kind of drama so far has been the idea of the NBA play-in tournament. Are you kind of aware of that whole situation?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
So they're kind of having like the lower seeds kind of play in to
Mhm.
decide who gets in. And something I saw recently was LeBron originally when the idea came out, he was very for it, and
Right, 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 right. He was
and
like,
and
that's
he
bullshit, but now he's about to be in
oh
the
yeah, no,
conversation.
no, he was going, oh, like this is a really interesting thing for the game of basketball, and the NBA, this is a great idea for the NBA. And then when he's the sixth team in the West, he's just going, man, I don't want to be a part of this.
Yeah. Yeah. LeBron, I feel like LeBron's going to handle it. He's going to figure it out.
Oh yeah, no, he'll
His,
figure it
his,
out.
yeah, like that's LeBron James. Like his body is the way it is now, but he'll figure out management. I mean,
Yeah,
manage it, and
yeah.
he got enough money to get the best doctors in the world. So,
Oh yeah, I forget. There was a stat. I forget how much LeBron like he spends like millions and millions of dollars on like care for his body like every
mhm.
single off season. It was some insane metric. I'd have to look it up, but it was astronomical how much he spends on care for himself. But before we kind of do get into like LeBron's body and the state of it, what are your thoughts personally on the play-in tournament?
um, I feel like
Do you like it or
it's. I mean, it's. I mean, me being an underdog and not being up there, like you feel me, my whole life I'm used to.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna say, yeah, I like it. Like, give him a chance to, you know what I'm saying? Like, but it's also like what you've done the whole season doesn't qualify enough for you to make the playoffs. So it's
yeah.
shouldn't even
That
have a chance.
That is the problem. It's the idea of like security and all that stuff that I think is causing a lot of people problems. But what I am seeing is like, frankly, here's the thing. I like the idea for basketball, and I think what I've been seeing a lot of is like the fans of teams and even players on teams that are possibly in that situation. They're the ones that are very vocally kind of against it, saying, hey, this is wrong for basketball. We shouldn't have this. But frankly, here's the thing. Like, I saw the way that the Boston Celtics were playing this year, and there were times where they were really just pissing me off. And as a Celtics fan, like they were just really angering me. And frankly, if they had fallen off anymore and they had gotten that play-in tournament and they managed to find a way to lose, I honestly would have said, like what, you did that to yourself. Like you had a chance to make an impact and play in there, and the
Right,
fact that you blew it in the way you did, you don't deserve to be in the playoffs for that.
right, right.
But you were talking about LeBron and kind of in his body and kind of keeping himself in shape. He did recently come out and he said after this recent high ankle sprain that he suffered, it's very unlikely he's going to get back to 100% in his career. And even I mean, he was the one who came out and clarified that, which was crazy to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Do you think he'll ever be able to get back, or what do you think?
I think he'll definitely be able to get back to do what he need to do to go to the championship. I
Yeah.
don't know if he'll be like,
I don't think it's gonna be him in Miami where he's like
yeah,
catching
yeah, yeah.
like
That's not the case. He's definitely not gonna be that type of player,
oh
but
yeah, no.
he's definitely
Ah,
still gonna be the best player in the league. Still do what he do and still dominate the game in so many different ways.
yeah. Dude, when LeBron was in Miami, I mean, I'll get back to that in a sec, but when LeBron was in Miami and he was like really leaned out like that, that's when LeBron James as a basketball player was the most intriguing to me, just because of like obviously now he's built more like a power forward. Like he isn't like he's not bulky and he's not like big, but he's just gained a lot of muscle, which for him has worked itself out. But man, when he was like kind of lean like that and he was like just gliding in Miami, it was like that was it was insane. But now kind of looking at it now, I saw Jay Williams and he's on ESPN came out and he was like Michael never said any of that. Like this is something like this is kind of concerning. Like why are you letting people know that you're injured like this and like
Yeah.
why are you giving people like that a leg up? But I mean, then again, he might be doing it, and then he comes out and he just scorches them all. So I
Right,
mean,
right.
he is like what 36, 37 now. So I mean, he's up there in age, but I mean, he is kind of just a physical specimen. He will. I mean, I'm just. I mean, you talk about speaking. You've talked about speaking things into existence. He's gonna play with his son in the NBA. It's just bound to happen. I mean,
Mm,
I saw the thing that it was
it's a
originally
bold statement. That's a no. I
no.
definitely think LeBron got at least 5 more years in, at least,
Oh yeah, no.
because
I mean, yeah.
he's. I feel like even when he can't still jump as high and be as athletic, he's still gonna just be the point guard out there and still shoot from deep and still
Oh, he's still gonna. I
facilitate the
mean,
way he does.
that shot's developed amazing over the years. I mean,
Yeah,
it's he's
that's
really got he's really gotten good with it. But the other thing too, I'm trying to figure out is about what was I thinking about with LeBron? Just in general. I mean, the thing about his son and playing with him. What I was going to mention about that is I think when he originally signed with LA, like with all the opt outs and stuff, it gave him like I think like the original deal expired. I don't know what it is now, but I'm pretty sure the original deal like it either allowed him to opt out or expire like the year his son entered the NBA. So everyone was just saying oh 42-year-old LeBron is just going to go to whatever team drafts his son, and that's going to be that story. Like he wants to get the Ken Griffey Jr., Ken Griffey Sr. kind of thing where they play together on the same team. I mean, I don't know if you know about that, but when they played on the same team together, they hit back-to-back home runs.
Right.
So I mean, that's just something that I feel like LeBron is just really not desperately want to, but just really kind of want to do at this point in his career. But that is something very interesting to see too. You were talking about his shot developing and stuff like that. Before we do go down to the wire and kind of wrap this thing up, you're talking about a shot developing. Someone who I wonder, as long as the shot there, how long can he play? And that's Steph Curry. I mean, obviously Curry, he does rely on some explosiveness down in the paint. Before he was known for his signature, 3-point shot, he had an amazing floater down low that was always money. But kind of going into it, is there going to be a limit? Do you think on Steph Curry? Like, how long can this guy keep it going with the shot he has? I mean,
No,
it's
yeah,
insane.
right. And he's shooting like the lowest, like he's shooting like threes, which is the furthest on the court. You know what I'm saying? It's not like he's
Oh
just
yeah,
like Zion just getting to the basket every time and just laying people, dunking on people. This so he's gonna get hurt. No, he's shooting threes. Like he's
yeah,
been
absolutely.
injured his whole career with his ankles and stuff, but he's still been able to shoot the ball. Like
Yeah.
so it's I don't know. I couldn't tell you how long Steph is gonna be doing that for.
It's wild. And before we do finally kind of go over an analysis of everything we talked about, I spoke with Adam about this when I had him on the show. Who is your pick right now for MVP?
MVP.
Yeah,
I did just see Jokic just
he
do
said
the
Jokic
Knicks
as well. Yeah, dude,
do the
Jokic
Knicks
says
filthy. Like what was it? Was it last night? I think it was last night
I'd
where
have
he
to take a
just
look. I mean, there have been a lot of
did the
people
Knicks. He
talking
had
about it.
24 in the first quarter. Like he was like he was going crazy. Is he the? Mm, I don't know. I think Jokic is who I got right now because beginning of the season, Harden was going crazy, but Harden got injured.
Yeah, yeah. Jokic had 32, 12, and 6.
Yeah, effortlessly too. Like he had 24 in the first quarter to the
Nah,
make. They was up by 25 in the first. Like
Jesus,
it was
yeah.
crazy. It was
Nah, the
crazy.
guy is a monster. So, I could definitely see him getting it. I mean, I remember at the start of the season, I think, had LeBron not gotten injured, I think a lot of people were trying to speak it into existence of, trying to get him another MVP on his resume before he had that injury. Embiid was another guy they were trying to really kind of maybe
Embiid was hooping, but I feel like LeBron. Like it's different with LeBron. Like
yeah,
LeBron should have way more MVPs than he has now. I feel like
yeah.
LeBron James is a MVP every year. There's not one player you're taking over LeBron James since like every year. So
Yeah. Well, I think it's the idea of in the NBA, like same thing within the NFL. If you're picking a head coach for head coach of the year every year, you could look at a guy like Bill Belichick and say like, well, he leads the best team every year. He could do it. And I think, just because of LeBron's greatness, like I think a lot of people, I think, it just becomes like I think
it's,
it just becomes like
it's
the idea of like, oh well, he's got to get an MVP and he's got to get one and he's got to get one. I mean, obviously, like Russ averages a triple double. That's awesome to see. Like this guy does
mhm,
this. And unfortunately, I think, I think, they kind of everything kind of gets mismatched, and LeBron kind of just gets left looking at it like, dude, I'm an MVP candidate every year. Like, what the hell?
right.
But yeah. But with that kind of being said, I think it is officially time to say that we are down to the wire, which means that we're going to go through everything we talked about in this past episode. First of all, Mike, thank you so much for coming on again, man. I really do appreciate it.
No problem, bro. No problem.
it has been an awesome episode to talk about your journey, what what you've done so far in your time here at Bryant, and what you are going to be doing at Robert Morris. Again, those guys do not know what is coming. I cannot wait for them. Before we maybe do sign off, is there kind of like a last message or something that you maybe want to send to the Bryant faithful?
Bryant, I mean, I had wrote something when I entered the transfer portal, but like I appreciate everybody at Bryant and everybody who helped me throughout this journey. And it was just time for me to take the next step in my life and in my journey. And just I always forever love y'all and appreciate the love y'all gave me from the first game. And it was lit.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You know, and the Brian Faithful here is always going to respect what you did for us. Like you completely helped change this program. Obviously you had one of the best. Obviously, it's helped us. Really kind of change our whole program around. And you were an instrumental piece in doing that. So props off to you 100%. But obviously, we talked with Mike about his career, what he's doing, where he's going. Obviously, he's going to Robert Morris next year. We wish him the best of luck there. He's going to kill it at Robert Morris. We talked about adversity he's faced, and we also talked, and maybe we also discussed the commitment of a D1 athlete. And after it was all said and done, we talked some NBA, such as the Knicks making the playoffs. The status of LeBron James, and our thoughts on whether Carmelo is a Hall of Famer. It's a consensus from both of us. It doesn't. It's not. It shouldn't even be discussed. But if you guys haven't followed us on social media yet, you can follow Down to the Wire on Spotify, Google Podcasts, YouTube. Like all those pages are in, and you can access all that through the link in our bio in our Instagram. You can follow our Instagram at down.to-the-wire. Again, at down.to-the-wire. Mike, thanks so much again for coming on, man. But from Down to the Wire, I'm Brian Costa.
And this is Mike Green. If y'all need me, y'all could just follow me on Instagram at swaggymg3 underscore. On Twitter it's swaggymg3, Snapchat swaggymg3. That's just the name. And I appreciate y'all.
Yeah. But we hope that you guys have an amazing night, and I will be back actually on Friday to deliver a kind of a semester finale episode. I'm gonna try to get a bunch of guests on. We're gonna try to talk anything that we didn't talk today. We're gonna be talking a little, maybe reviewing a little bit of the Kentucky Derby. Gonna be reviewing a little bit some NFL, some Aaron Rodgers saga. Going to be talking a lot about it on our next episode, but we hope that you guys have an amazing day. We will see you guys next time.